We're getting ready. It's now 2:01, and we're going to get ready and start our committee hearing. We have three bills that are basically the same and the sponsor is Councilmember Torrance. And they're basically all on that Class BD7 license and the changeover. But let's go ahead and start and get that out of the way. Of course, there's no finding of the facts for this, and there's no amendments at this time, so this should be smooth sailing. So I want to welcome everyone to the Committee on Economic and Community Development. And in attendance today, we have the members of the committee. I'm chair of the committee, Sharon Green Middleton, representative of the 6th District. We have Robert Stokes, member of the committee representing the 12th District. Robert Stokes. Hi.
I am here, Madam Chair.
Thank you. We have Councilmember John Bullock, member and representative of the 9th District.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. And we have Councilman Ryan Dorsey, member of the committee and representative of the 3rd District.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. And we also have Councilman Mark Conway, member of the committee and representative of the 4th District.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. And we also have Councilmember Antonio Glover, member of the committee and representative of the 13th District.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. And that's all I see in attendance at this time on the committee. And then we also have Councilmember James Torrance, which is the sponsor of these bills and representative of the 7th District. And these locations are in the 7th District.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
You're welcome. And members of the Office of the President, we have Nikki Thompson. We also have Matt Stegman. And
Thank you, Madam Chair.
You're welcome. And we also have, I think I saw him, Aaron DeGraffenreid.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
And representing the mayor's office, I see Nina Themulis.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
You're welcome. And I also see, I'm looking to see if there's anyone else at this time from the mayor's office, and I think that's it. So this afternoon, the committee will hear three bills. The first one is Bill number 21-0013R, approval for the exchange of a Class BD7 license to a Class A7 license, which is 1220 West North Avenue, for the purpose of providing the required approval to allow the license holder of a valid Class BDC beer, wine, and liquor license issued for use at 1220 West North Avenue, Baltimore, Maryland, 21217, to apply to the Board of Liquor License Commissioners for Baltimore City to exchange their license for a Class A7 beer, wine, and liquor license. The bill was introduced on January 25th, 2021. The sponsor, Councilmember Torrance. And Councilmember, if you can go ahead and speak on all three if you'd like, since they're basically the same.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I bring these bills forward as a comprehensive strategy in the 7th Councilmanic District, as well as in the 40th Legislative District. These bills are coming forward as an initiative by Senator Hayes and others in the 7th and 40th District to discuss comprehensive strategies for reducing violence around establishments with that serve alcohol. The applicants today are going to exchange their licenses for altered hours. Their altered hours will be from 10 a.m. to midnight. Typically, these applicants will be able to operate from 6 a.m. to 2 a.m. They are reducing their hours, agreeing to add high definition camera surveillance that monitors every entryway, but as well as the wells and the stills of their establishments. In conjunction with that, it permits them to allows them to have access from BPD to their camera footage, which they will store for 14 days. The reason why is that we want to make sure that we're working with businesses to, one, recognize the public safety concerns surrounding them, but also work in tandem with them to help with mitigating those circumstances. So with that being said, I do yield back to the chair.
Thank you, council member. And we also have Nick Blendy at this hearing, and I know that Nick works for the I guess licensing commissioners. Nick, if you want to just go ahead and kind of explain why we are doing this, and there'll probably be more like this coming before our committee.
Sure, Madam Chair. Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the committee, and Councilman Torres. For the record, Nicholas Blendy, now the Deputy Executive Secretary of the Board of Liquor License Commissioners of Baltimore City, or we can just say Liquor Board, I think, and be easier. So as Councilman Torrance actually explained it pretty succinctly, and generally speaking, the General Assembly dictates the language in the Maryland Code and the alcoholic beverages article. And one process they put in place a few years back and is they created a new liquor license called the A7, and they created this process by which a current BD7 license holder may exchange their BD7 for an A7 license with the approval in the form of a resolution from the city council. If this council approves a resolution for any particular establishment and that applicant comes with their BD7 and their resolution in hand, we will process the exchange of the license to an A7. And the councilman correctly explained that A7s are authorized to be open from 10 a.m. to midnight, 7 days a week. And the requirements regarding high definition surveillance camera applies to A7 license holders. So they all must have an operational 24-hour-a-day camera that records all of those locations that the councilman described. With that, I'm happy to answer any general questions about the liquor licenses, and otherwise, you have my letter for each of the resolutions, and I will shut up now.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your added information, and I just see this as an opportunity for really all council members to really put, it's helping to bring that partnership and seeing some of our problem areas that have a conglomerate of liquor establishments. It's just giving us segue over areas of our districts, especially that need a lot of help. So I think this is a good thing. And now I recognize Council Member Stokes.
Yes, I have a question for Nick. I thought the A7 was from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. I didn't know it was to 12 midnight. So I'm a little confused. I've been here 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. and you said 10 a.m. to 12 midnight.
Thank you, Councilman. Yeah, so the applicable section of state law for A7s generally is 12-902.1 of the alcoholic beverages article, and at section E says a holder of a class A7 license may sell beer, wine, and liquor on Monday through Sunday from 10 a.m. to midnight. However, and this is pertinent to your district, there are sections of geographic areas in the city that the state legislators in our state delegation have drawn a line around a boundary and set different license hours for certain establishments and classes of license holders in those districts. And one is definitely in the 12th, as you're aware. And there are certain licensees that must be closed in parts of your district at 10 p.m. And if there is a more restrictive boundary that a transferee and a applicant exchanging and into an A7, if it's in that boundary that is more restrictive in its hours, the more restrictive language would apply. But generally speaking, citywide, an A7 is authorized to operate from 10 a.m. to midnight, 7 days a week. If there was a more restrictive hours, the more restrictive hours, 10 p.m. would apply.
Well, my question real quick, Madam Chair, is.
Yeah, because we don't want to get.
Okay,
We don't
real
want
quick.
we don't want to get district specific because this hearing is specifically for these bills.
I know
of the
that.
7th district.
Okay. I know that, but if I got 3 coming up. If they listening to my hearing and hear, or they on this hearing hearing that some districts stay open to 12 midnight, that might become a problem for me. So I just wanted to know, I was confused, so we can move on. I just wanted to make sure I was sure on that. Thank you.
And Councilman, I'll definitely speak with you about the specifics after this, sometime after this hearing.
Yeah, and that's why it's good that, it's coming before the council member of the district. So those things can get squared away with those particular businesses. So thank you for the question, Councilman Stokes. Okay, now we're going to hear from agency representatives, and we'll start with the law department on this bill. Elena, are you available?
Trying to, there I go. Yes, I'm here. Thank you, Madam Chair. Elena Pietro from the Baltimore City Law Department. I've reviewed all 3 consistent with the legislation at the state level that allows for this. And are aware that this resolution be passed to.
You're going in and out.
Hello?
Hello, I'm sorry, you were going in and out.
Yeah, maybe I should come. I understand. I had.
So this is okay.
Problem.
So but you did say this is a favorable report.
I will sign off and try signing it.
Okay.
Again.
Moving on to the
do that.
Board of Liquor Commission. Oh, Elena?
It is. Yes, it is, Madam Chair. Yes, it is.
Okay. Board of Liquor Licensing, Nick Valendi.
Yeah, we stand by our report, Madam Chair.
Okay. The Baltimore Police Department, Michelle Witzberger. Michelle?
There we go. Sorry, I was having technical difficulties. Good afternoon, Madam Chairwoman, members of the committee. My name is Michelle Wurzberger. I'm Director of Government Affairs for the Baltimore Police Department. We stand by our report for this bill. Just an FYI, I have to hop off of the hearing, but in my stead, Shannon Conway, our Legislative Affairs Coordinator, will speak for the department.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
The Health Department, I see DePaul.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the committee. Paul Nibber on behalf of the Baltimore City Health Department. We stand by our report. We should note that 1220 West North Avenue is not something that we actively regulate, meaning that it doesn't serve any food service items. So ICE would maybe make them qualify. But we didn't have any record of them, so we don't have any reason to object. The same goes for the other 2 properties, which are low priority properties in that they don't serve food items that could potentially get contaminated or anything along those lines. So we have no reason to worry about them as well.
Okay. Thank you for your report. The Department of Transportation, Liam?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Liam Davis, Baltimore City Department of Transportation. We stand by our bill report, which is no objection.
Thank you. And the Department of Finance?
Good afternoon, Mara James for the Department of Finance. We stand by our bill report. We do not oppose this legislation. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we're checking for public testimony on this bill. Please stand by. And to go through the rules pretty quickly, remember the committee staff is coordinating public testimony, so please be patient as we move through all of this. If you're connected online, use the raise hand function to indicate you wish to testify. Each speaker must state their name prior to speaking. User who call in can be identified by name and will be unmuted by the host. And so we'll just go ahead and move forward and see if anyone is raising their hand at this time. So there's no hand raised or no callers for this bill. So on that note, is there a motion from the committee to move this bill?
A motion.
So moved by Councilman Stokes.
Second, Conway.
I think there was a motion by Glover, and who second?
Conway.
Conway. Okay, moving as a favorable report. Chair Middleton, yes. Member Stokes?
Yes.
Yes. Member Bullock?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Member Dorsey?
Yes.
Thank you. Member Conway?
Yes.
Thank you. Member Glover?
Yes.
Thank you. And Member Ramos?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. All affirmative. This bill will move to second reader for passage. The next bill is Bill number 21-0014R, approval for the exchange of a Class BD7 license to a Class A7 license, and this is 2733 Pennsylvania Avenue. And for the same purpose, providing the required approval to allow the license holder of a valid Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license issued for use at 2733 Pennsylvania Avenue, Baltimore, Maryland, 21217, to apply to the Board of Liquor License Commissioners for Baltimore City to exchange their license for a Class A7 beer, wine, and liquor license. This bill was introduced on January 25th, 2021. And again, the sponsor is Councilmember Torrance. And the council members spoke at the beginning on all three bills. And so we're going to go ahead and move to agency reports. And we'll start with the law department again. Miss Elena Pietro was.
Do it again, Elena.
Hi,
Pietro.
Elena. I see you're still having problems.
I'm back.
You did, it was a favorable report.
Can hear.
Thank you. So we do have record that it was a favorable report.
Right.
Thank you, Elena. The Board of Liquor Licensing Commissioners, Nick Blendy.
We stand by our report, Madam Chair.
Thank you. The Baltimore Police Department.
Madam Chair.
Hi, Shannon.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm Shannon Conway, Legislative Affairs Coordinator for BPD. BPD has no objection to this bill, and we stand by our report.
Thank you. The Health Department.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Paul, on behalf of the Health Department, again, no objections.
Thank you. And Department of Transportation.
Madam Chair, Liam Davis, Baltimore City DOT. We stand by our bill report, which is no objection.
Thank you. And the Department of Finance, that was Mara.
Correct. Mara James, Department of Finance. Again, we stand by our bill report. We do not oppose. Thank you.
Thank you. And now we're checking again for if there's any public testimony. So please raise your hand if you want to testify on this bill. And we see no hands raised, and we also see no other person wanting to testify on this bill. So is there a motion to move the bill?
So moved by Councilman Stokes.
Second by Conway.
Moved by Councilman Stokes and second by Councilman Conway. This bill will move favorable, and Chair Middleton as a yes. Member Stokes? Is a yes. Member Bullock?
Yes. Yeah.
Is a yes. Member Dorsey?
Yes.
Is a yes. Member Conway?
Yes.
Is a yes. Member Glover?
Yes.
Is a yes. And Member Ramos?
Yes.
Is a yes. This bill will be moved to second reader. And then the last bill is Bill number 21-0015R. And this is also an approval for the exchange of a Class BDC license to a Class A7 license. And this is 2139 Pennsylvania Avenue. And this is also for the purpose of providing the required approval to allow the license holder of a valid Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license issued for use at 2139 Pennsylvania Avenue, Baltimore, Maryland, 21217, to apply to the Board of Liquor License Commissioners for Baltimore City to exchange their license for a Class A7 beer, wine, and liquor license. And this bill was also introduced on January 25th, 2021. And again, the sponsor is Council Member Torrance, and Council Member Torrance stated, did his statement for all three bills together. So we'll now hear from agencies again, and we'll start with the Law Department. Elena, we do have a favorable. I know you've been having technical difficulties.
Good afternoon again.
It is a favorable report, correct? Yes?
Neither.
Thank you. Board of Liquor License Commissioners, Nick?
Yes, Madam Chair, Nicholas Blendy, Deputy Executive Secretary, Board of Liquor License Commissioners, we stand by our report.
Thank you. And Shannon Conway with the Police Department?
The BPD has no objection to this bill, and we stand by our report.
Thank you. And DePaul Nibber with the Health Department?
Thank you, Madam Chair. DePaul Nibber on behalf of the Health Department. Again, no objections.
Thank you. Liam Davis with Transportation?
Madam Chair, Liam Davis, Baltimore City DOT. We stand by our bill report, which is no objection.
Thank you. And Mara James with the Department of Finance?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Department of Finance stands by our report. We do not oppose this legislation.
Thank you. And now we're checking with this bill to see if there's any public testimony. Remember to use your raise hand function. There is. Is anyone raising their hand to testify? Last call. We don't see any raised hands, and we don't see anyone that's wanting to testify. So, We do see 3 people on here. Let's just go ahead and ask to make sure before we close this out.
Daria Brown, would you like to testify?
No, I'm with the Office of the Council President.
Okay, thank you. And Simpson, Jamal Simpson, would you like to testify? Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Well, go ahead and move on. Is there a motion to move this? A motion to move the bill?
Motion to move.
Second.
Motion to move by, that was Councilman Glover, and second by who?
Conway.
Thank you. Second by Councilman Conway. This bill is, will be moved favorable, and we're going to take our vote. Chair Middleton is a yes. Member Stokes?
Yes.
Yes. Member Bullock?
Yes.
Yes. Member Dorsey?
Yes.
Yes. Member Conway
Yes.
is a yes. Member Glover
Yes.
is a yes. Member Ramos?
You finished it.
Yes.
Thank you. This bill will be moved to second reader. Are there any questions that anyone needs to ask before we close this hearing? No questions? I thank you all for attending, and this hearing is adjourned. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Bye-bye.